3 years ago, I posted the lore of Wordgirl, which started the lore series and made YouTube my job. I recently rewatched it and realized I didn't mention Becky's family at all. And I still have a lot to say. How do Wordgirl's parents not realize they adopted a superpowered alien from another planet? Where did they even find Becky? And why did they decide to write her brother as a little creep? Find out all of this and more in this episode of Athena Peeps. Listen for the words wasted and potential.
You're videotaping the show. I do.
Butt lovers, welcome to the reexplore series, where we take another look at lore shows we've covered to rip into overlooked story arcs and characters. Wordgirl has 128 episodes split up into two 15-minute segments, meaning the series is made up of 248 segments. Because there are some two-part ones. Anyway, both her parents and her brother are in less than half of this series. Pathetic. It's no wonder that I mostly focus on the villains of this show. That's most of the story right there. So what does her family offer? And why is TJ, her little brother, the biggest waste of a character ever? Let's start with each of their first appearances. Becky, aka Wordgirl's normal human alter ego, is seen gardening with her father, Tim Botsford, in the opening of the very first episode. Right off the bat, magical, out-of-the-ordinary things happen around this man, but he is as unobservant as a person can get. Fast super-growing fertilizer turns a plant into a giant monster right behind him, and he has no idea. He does notice the villain's robots, but thinks nothing of them.
Whoa, hey there, big fella.
And most concerningly, he lets his daughter follow this huge death machine because she makes up a very unconvincing lie about needing to do so for school. Then if that isn't enough, she flies away right in front of his very eyes. It does not register. The entire town is a parody of powerless civilians seen repeatedly within the superhero genre, because they are almost always comically stupid, and this family is no exception. The second episode is the first time we see Becky's mom, Sally Botsford, and I forgot she was the district attorney, so her job is to prosecute villains. In the opening, we see her running a bake sale so her office can buy more pens.
The DA's office is a lot of pens, hon. We can't put bad guys in jail without pens.
This superhero entertains the need to complete paperwork as if that is anywhere near as important as disarming and detaining the villains. And if that exchange isn't enough, when Chuck the evil sandwich making guy shows up in this giant sandwich press, Becky's district attorney mom is frozen in fear. She does nothing besides standing and screaming, to the point where Becky doesn't even have to lie. She says right in front of her mom that she's Wordgirl, but Sally's defense mechanism does not include listening to or protecting her daughter. Even though her mother is seen as an airhead, blissfully unaware that City Hall is crumbling around her, and not knowing Chuck's full name, even though it describes what he does and that's her job to know what he does, and dismissing that Wordgirl called her mom.
Mambo!
Her mother's profession actually does end up saving the day. She has a file all about Chuck the evil sandwich making guy, and that's how they find out what his password is to stop the crushing robot. It's a childhood pet. Classic. Also, I know I mentioned this in the regular Wordgirl lore video, but holy shit, the citizens continuing to confuse what animal Captain Huggy Face is such a weird bit.
An aardvark in tights!
He's an alien monkey that looks like any other Earth monkey. However, I think it's a very smart thing to show. Whether it was intentional or not, it kind of explains why no one has ever noticed the similarities between Wordgirl and Becky. Like, if these guys are too stupid to even identify animals, if they mistake Captain Huggy Face for a hedgehog, then Wordgirl must look totally different than Becky. In fact, in the episode The Granny Sitter, Becky's dad couldn't even tell the difference between Granny May and a blow-up doll.
What?
You start to believe this world's lack of logic because you lose hope in about 90% of the characters. In the two-brain highway, the second half of episode 2, we see just how weak the government is. The mayor places two brains in a maze, claiming it is inescapable. And when the villain escapes in no time at all, the mayor demolishes the maze right in front of the reporters. A total waste of city resources, with no apology, urgency, or seriousness in sight. Becky's mom has this to say.
Well, that was exciting, huh?
Yeah, Mom.
While it can get frustrating that her parents are completely unaware of her powers,
I wonder if it's possible that Becky is really... Oh, Bob!
Now, what were we talking about?
I forgot.
They have enough comedic and endearing moments to justify their existence. I thought her brother TJ was, unfortunately, another story entirely. His main character trait at the very beginning is having a crush on Wordgirl, to the point of obsession. And yes, while he doesn't know that Wordgirl is his sister, we do! At first, when TJ was on the screen, I felt this sense of dread, especially when Becky was within earshot of him. It could be seen as innocent admiration, like looking up to a role model, but he makes comments on her appearance. Like in the 3rd episode, which is his first appearance by the way, TJ talks to a cutout of Wordgirl, even complimenting her pretty teeth.
How did you get such pretty teeth? Hey, watch where you're going! Now then, where were we? Now then, where were we?
Weirdly, I do see what they were trying to go for here. Alright, just listen. In the episode Becky's Birthday, TJ is complaining about having to help decorate for his sister's birthday because he's missing his Wordgirl fan club meeting. So of course the joke here is, haha, unbeknownst to him, the party he's going to is for Wordgirl. The series of events taunting how little he knows about Wordgirl is the second definition of irony. Allow me to read it out loud to match this show's freak of over-explaining words. A state of affairs or an event that seems deliberately contrary to what one expects, that's what they were going for. An example of this humor working well is with Oliver and Miley from Hannah Montana. First things first, Oliver is a good friend to Miley. That's the main difference. Miley's brother Jackson was always aware of her pop star secret and low-key doesn't give a shit. Her status doesn't change the way these siblings playfully mock and torment each other. But back to Miley's best friend Oliver, who acts kind of like TJ in the beginning, obsessed with the idea of Hannah Montana to the point of creepiness. But the other good thing besides not being her brother is that we see lasting payoff after Oliver learns about her secret. He passes out due to his reality not being what it seemed, and he also realized he isn't in love with Miley. The other cool thing about this is that it combats the horrible stereotype that girls and guys are unable to be friends. And I know I don't even have to say this, but the fact that Becky is adopted doesn't make TJ's crush any less weird. TJ is obviously working with the information he's given, which is none, so I don't really blame him, but from a writing standpoint, this was the least enjoyable part of the show. And unlike with Oliver, since TJ never got closure, we didn't get to see how he would move past his Wordgirl obsession, which probably would have allowed him to form a new, better personality.
Now then, where were we?
TJ makes an appearance in the episode Mouse Army, and it really confirms how surface level his fascination with Wordgirl is. Getting many basic things about her wrong. Saying she flies with 2 arms outstretched when she only flies with 1 arm up. Even more egregious, TJ calls Wordgirl's main villain Dr. Mousebrains when it's really Dr. Two Brains. It's as if he only knows her through a game of telephone. The real reason he knows nothing about Wordgirl is because his attention span is shit. On the TV is Wordgirl's arch nemesis talking directly to her, and he switches the channel because he's bored.
Move to...
I hate this channel.
Now!
This is the self-proclaimed #1 Wordgirl fan. Give me a break. He just likes staring at her in the sky. A second after, his sister, who is the same person, leaves. We even hear him say, I wish Becky was here to see Wordgirl because her impression of Wordgirl was terrible. While this is played for booming laughter, I will take the logic seriously. Is it his subconscious protecting him from seeing all the similarities because this shit's nasty? Or is he really this blinded by the allure of powers no human can possess? Or both, but the town's whole comically clueless shtick always annoyed me. Like I said, it's no wonder I focused on the villains the whole time. In this episode alone, Dr. Two Brains teams up with Wordgirl to take down the super smart army of mice that don't obey him. And he exclaims that them working together is like old times. God, I wish we heard more about Dr. Two Brains' life as Steven Boxleitner before he fused with Squeaky's tiny little evil ass. The intelligence of the mice army continues as they sneak into the grocery store to steal shit by hiding in a Trojan horse mouse. This grocery store owner not only fell for the oldest trick in the book, but is also the least helpful he can possibly be while simultaneously having the solution to their problem. They're stuck in a trap, the villains are getting away, and then he hits them with this.
You know, I do have the key.
Why didn't you say so before?
You didn't ask.
The citizens of Fair City are the real mice trapped in the maze, and unlike the rodents who continually free themselves, these humans are permanently stuck due to their incompetence and over-reliance on Wordgirl saving them. Will TJ be as undependable as everyone else? Or will he strive to be better than the city full of fickle, self-centered airheads? TV Tropes even calls this world of dumbass, that I'd argue is especially prevalent in superhero movies and TV shows. Incredibles 2 left a lot to be desired for me, but to their credit, they did have a look at how dangerous superheroes babying the people they're protecting can be. Spoiler in 3, 2, 1. The main villain was basically radicalized because her parents were killed waiting for the heroes instead of escaping themselves. Kinda seems like she's also babying her parents by blaming the superheroes instead of blaming them. But I get it, the culture of helplessness definitely doesn't help. And in Wordgirl, it's especially frustrating because they aren't leaning on multiple heroes, they depend on just one child. In fact, in Season 4's two-part special, A World Without Wordgirl, we see that if she didn't defend this town as a hero, Chuck the evil sandwich-making guy would rise to power as a dictator. She really holds shit down. Anyway, back to TJ. In the episode Down with Word Up, the narrator describes TJ going on and on about Wordgirl until we hear it for ourselves. As I talked about in the Wordgirl lore video, the narrator is a very inconsistent force. I don't know if he can pick and choose who hears him, but oftentimes Wordgirl and many other characters responds to what the narrator announces. Here he gives us the backstory we already knew. TJ doesn't know his sister is Wordgirl. And obviously, he doesn't hear the narrator explain this, and I wish he would! TJ does not truly know Wordgirl. In fact, he's raving about all of these amazing heroic acts she's allegedly done, right to Wordgirl's face, and she looks confused as to what he's even talking about. This was seen a bit in TJ's first appearance, when he wants to trade box tops for a Wordgirl utility belt, and Becky is confused because she doesn't use anything similar to what's actually on the toy based off her. So it's clear that people are using her likeness without her knowledge, permission, or feedback. I think TJ probably learned all of these facts about his sister/crush, in an unlicensed comic book. Bob/Captain Huggyface the sidekick asks TJ what his favorite Captain Huggyface moment is. No one questions how Becky is able to understand her pet monkey. Anyway, TJ could not care less about Captain Huggyface the monkey sidekick. Bob/Captain Huggyface is pissed off, and Becky is just done with hearing her brother sing her praises. TJ says his sister wishes she was like Wordgirl, and I am slapping my knee and rolling all over the floor because she is Wordgirl. She doesn't even have to put on a wig.
Have you worn wigs?
Or glasses. Maybe he should put on glasses. I finally updated my prescription. Oh, that's funny. Becky is wearing a Wordgirl costume. This episode, we see a good side of TJ's extreme trust because Granny May, old lady villain, turns the entire town against her, including her own dad. TJ is the only one who believes in Wordgirl and sticks up for her. I have ranted about how unloyal this town is before. The city's people are the most fickle individuals I've ever seen. Despite Wordgirl's unwavering loyalty and work she puts into protecting these dumb fucks, they constantly don't know whether or not to trust her. If I were her, genuinely, I would have a whole supervillain arc. I didn't get to fully appreciate TJ being the voice of reason for once because immediately after, he tries to serenade Wordgirl in song. And this poor girl is mortified. Becky should have revealed her secret to him right then and there, with a counter song that truly embodies the beauty of siblings. B is for the way your breath is bad, or is for really, really bad. O is oh my god, shut your bitch ass up, that spell's broke, 'cause that's what you are. I'm Becky, you should jump in front of a car. They have such good ideas hidden beneath that accidental incestuous crush. Like, remember how TJ didn't give a shit about Captain Huggyface? Maybe the dynamic fully should have been that TJ wanted to be Wordgirl's sidekick. Maybe he's jealous of Captain Huggyface. Maybe TJ studies Wordgirl's missions to figure out how the super team could have done better, and the obsession stems from wanting to help. We could have had TJ trying to prove himself, leading to Becky accepting him, revealing the truth, and making him the hacker or something. We had Kid Math in one episode teach math lessons. Why couldn't that have been TJ? His character could serve a much better purpose.
We could be heroes.
I take my notes in order, and every episode since I wrote this down has confirmed that TJ wants to fight crime alongside Wordgirl. It is canon. It's first explicitly said in The Granny Sitter.
She wanted this really awesome kid named TJ to be her crime-fighting partner, but she was afraid he'd say no.
But unfortunately, this episode just confirms what a terrible hero he'd be. He's the one who called out Granny May for being evil, and now TJ acts like he doesn't know who she is. His memory resets at the beginning of every episode. But he isn't even the worst part. Becky's parents hire Granny May to babysit. Reminder, Becky's mom is the district attorney. Becky keeps saying that Granny May has been to jail multiple times. You know who should know that? Her mom, the district attorney? I can and will rage, but let's look at the positives. This is the first time we truly see TJ and Becky act as siblings. TJ talking through the wall about how bored he is, essentially begging his older sister to entertain him. Yes, Becky does use a tape recorder so she can sneak away and defeat Granny May, who's trying to commit Grand Theft Auto, but even after she flies away, we see TJ's reaction to her.
Becky, I'm still bored.
Sorry, Teej, I'm pooped. See you in the morning.
Cool, she fell asleep fast.
And at the end of the episode, when their parents send them to bed, he looks all pissed off because he wants to continue playing cards with his sister. This shouldn't be groundbreaking, but this is the first time we've seen him not gush about Wordgirl. We need more moments like this when he's just a brother. Annoying, endearing, whatever, as long as he isn't love-struck by his sister's alter ego like we're used to seeing. Like in TJ's very next appearance, department store Toby. At first, the siblings are stuck shoe shopping with their dad, and when Becky has to leave to investigate what kid evil villain Toby is up to, her lie is just as bad as ever. She says she needs a hat for Hat Club, which her dad very surprisingly replies that he was also part of the Hat Club. An already confusing exchange, but it gets more confusing when TJ asks why Becky is able to leave and he isn't. Dad says the whole Hat Club thing, and when his son is confused, Mr. Botsford hits him with,
You'll understand when you're older.
"What does that mean?" I looked up Hat Club and it's exactly what it sounds like. So then I looked up Hat Club on Urban Dictionary and Tinfoil Hat Club popped up. So I don't know, maybe her dad is a conspiracy theorist and thought TJ wasn't ready to discover the secrets of the universe. One thing that isn't a secret is what a nerd this kid is. Wordgirl shows up and he passes out. Wordgirl only decided to talk to her father to subtly guide him in the direction of what shoes she wants. But even with Deus Ex Daughtera, this dude can't help but fuck up. First of all, he sees his daughter and says, "We've been looking everywhere for you. We thought we'd have to call a search party." Exaggeration or not, it's weird how unfazed he is after losing his daughter for at least an hour.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
No, and quite frankly, that's none of my business. Oh no, wait, there she is! And yes, her dad got her shoes that couldn't be any more different than the one she asked for. On top of that, her dad isn't as go with the flow as he seems. He is particular about what he wants, so it's very bizarre to me that he doesn't realize a pair of shoes totally not his daughter's style could piss her off. He kind of lacks empathy for Becky. For example, in the episode Two Brains Quartet, Mr. Botsford wants to win the quartet competition. He wants this so badly he kicks Becky out of the group because she's off pitch. Even though his delivery is gentle and Becky takes it well, it's still sad that he's prioritizing this over her. In Granny's Good Time All Cure Spritzer, you can tell from that title alone that Granny May is acting as a snake oil salesman, selling something that she claims will make you more powerful with just a few sprays. When Becky confronts her family who all fell for it, we accidentally stumble into a scene that confirms her parents' active sex life. What do I mean? You tell me! Her mom never uses the spray this episode. So she is clearly complimenting her husband, even winking at him, with her arms draped over him. These two buffoons clearly sprayed themselves all over and placeboed themselves into better sex. Say it with me. Good for them. Now let's move on. TJ is using the spritzer to become stronger and be a better sidekick than Captain Huggyface, who he describes as a dumb monkey sidekick. TJ is the only one who knows what animal he is. And once again, I hit the nail right on the head by assuming he wanted to be Wordgirl's sidekick. I swear I did not remember this shit at all. Bob/Captain Huggyface immediately tries to beat TJ in a push-up competition, which TJ wins by a long shot. TJ isn't a good judge of character, forgetting along with the rest of the town who the villains are, but he is stronger than Wordgirl's actual sidekick. In the episode Heatwave Crime, where the word of the day is sweltering, Becky and her family want to go to Splashy's water park because it's sweltering. When she has to fly off and defeat crime repeatedly, she just seems like a flake, so TJ tries to convince their father to leave without her.
I'm telling you, Dad, we'd be doing him a favor by going without him.
Doing us a favor, huh?
Hey, Becky!
More of this. They should have leaned more into TJ dealing with Becky's chaotic schedule and being pissed off about it and turning against her because of it. If they got to TJ learning about his sister's identity after fighting her repeatedly, he would feel so guilty, trying even harder to prove himself as a sidekick. At this point, I think I should tell you that they actually did reveal the secret to TJ. Multiple times, in fact.
The best thing about a secret is secretly telling someone your secret, thereby secretly adding another secret to their secret collection of secrets. Secretly.
The episode Two Brains Forgets opens with TJ insulting Becky, saying he'd rather have a sister like Wordgirl. So it's funny because his sister is Wordgirl. No, but seriously, this would be a much better gag. Why they choose to make everyone gag with the repeated swooning gets more and more confusing. Because now they're dropping way more grounded ideas for TJ without expanding on them past, haha, she's right in front of him, isn't she? In fact, just this episode, Dr. Two Brains finds out about Wordgirl's normal life as Becky and tries to reveal this to her family, who immediately dismisses it. My favorite part is how absolutely guilty she looked.
Your daughter Becky is Wordgirl!
There was quite a pause. Her inability to lie in any way is so consistent. She farted! No, I didn't. We know she'd never. Yeah, in fact, saying my sister did fart is an insult to farts themselves. Damn, what the hell? I mean, ha 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 ha. You're right. You're so right. Dr. Two Brains, cunning as hell, uses Wordgirl's super reflexes against her. He pretty much flips the damn table. And Becky not only catches them all in a super impressive way, but she also exposes herself by flying. We see her family's reality shatter entirely. Her mother's voice trembles, clearly scared for her daughter. And TJ, dude, this is what I was waiting for. He exclaimed a very whiny, "No!" And while I think Tom Kenny should have shredded his voice in a Lois Griffin fashion, we are not done yet, folks. This kid grabs his head, eyes dashing back and forth, unable to focus on anything physically tangible in the room with him. Instead, he is trapped in his own mind, thoughts racing, and weakly says, I can't.
Guys, no,
I can't.
Completely out of breath. This is a realistic depiction of a panic attack in animation. He grabs his heart, reaches out to catch his balance, and hyperventilates. Even after Two Brains traps the whole family, TJ cannot stop looking at his sister with absolute horror. He says an audible ew at the realization that he was the leader of her fan club. And since the realization / what feels like betrayal is still fresh, he refuses to help her. I'm telling you though, if he and the rest of the family wasn't hit with a memory erasing ray, I think he'd move past this and want to be her sidekick. This series of events is the closest thing we get to everything changing, but instead we get a memory wipe, and the first thing TJ does when everything's back to normal is go back to swooning over Wordgirl. Oh man, that sucks. I really feel bad for him. In fact, in the very next episode, Have You Seen the Remote?, we see one of TJ's Wordgirl fan club meetings. It starts with him kicking out his sister Becky. You know, it's funny because, I don't know if you know this, she's actually Wordgirl. You know what I will say? I've never appreciated how cool this treehouse design is. This kid is actually really creative and skilled. It's just him being a fanatic that's holding him back, which is realistic and accurate. That's how I feel with 90% of stans. Now listen, standing someone isn't mere appreciation or hyperfixation. It's dedicating your life to someone. Those Twitter accounts that will always make whatever someone says about their fave. And based on what we've seen, TJ would totally be the type. Wordgirl outsold Table and Floppiana. The queen died, my queen didn't. Shit like that, you know? It's unfortunate. Anyway, TJ rules the fan club with an iron fist. When a mystery remote is in TJ's possession, he commands the Wordgirl fan club to press random buttons with him. This dude even made me side with Violet for once, because she refuses to press the buttons since she doesn't know what they do. Honestly, Violet has a lot more good moments than I remember. She's still annoying, but she's not that bad.
And best friends don't ever lie.
Who have I become? There was one other time the family heard about Becky being Wordgirl. In the season 2 episode, Wordgirl makes a mistake. Let's start from the beginning. During a battle with Mr. Big, Wordgirl gets struck by a meteor.
Oh! He needs some milk!
She slurs her words, mispronouncing them. It seems like a concussion. Wordgirl also briefly loses the ability to fly. A news reporter taunts her for her mistake, and the town's trust once again wavers because these hoes ain't loyal. This is when we learn that Wordgirl has a weakness to Lexinite from her home planet Lexicon, much like Superman being from the planet Krypton and his one weakness being kryptonite. Repurposing the same stakes and secret identity for the purpose of an educational kids show is actually brilliant, and no one talks about it enough. I love PBS. They also don't shy away from making jokes about their own parody, with Mr. Big's assistant Leslie making a very on-the-nose observation.
Whenever a superhero comes into contact with a meteorite from their home planet, it takes away their superpowers. Have you ever read a comic book?
TJ immediately jumps to insulting Wordgirl, while Mr. Botsford says that it's okay that Wordgirl makes a mistake because everyone makes mistakes. Rare fathering W. But that immediately gets thrown in the trash when Becky reveals to TJ and her father that she's Wordgirl, and they pretty much call her a liar. Becky jumps into her backstory, starting with her as a baby stumbling into Captain Huggyface's spaceship. In my original lore video, I did mention that he's a pilot to emphasize how much older he is than Becky, but I downplayed how well known he was on their planet because he was a famous Air Force pilot. Baby Wordgirl startled him, causing him to hit a meteor. That's when they crash landed on Earth. It looks like they were heading towards Texas. After they crashed, Tim and Sally Botsford discovered the baby and monkey and took them in. Tim, who was listening to the story, seemed surprised by this, even though he should definitely remember how he adopted his daughter.
We were discovered in the woods by a young couple.
Who?
Tim and Sally Botsford. You know, you and Mom.
Go on.
Don't you remember this part, Dad?
Her father specifically not believing her is beyond me. He found a baby and a monkey in the woods by a spaceship. But even weirder than that, they were so adamant about not believing her and Becky's getting really pissed off. Why didn't she just turn into Wordgirl to prove them wrong? Oh well, this episode was disappointing in so many ways. Wordgirl being bamboozled by the same old lady disguise Mr. Big has already used, plus cat ears and whiskers drawn on a picture of Leslie. Girl, what the fuck? You're supposed to be better than all of them. You said so yourself in a very concerning speech.
But I didn't make a mistake and I'm not human. My flawless word knowledge is exactly what separates me from mere mortals.
Becky.
Even with that crazy big ego, I fear she caught the stupid from the rest of Fair City. She goes to that crashed spaceship, which is her hideout, where Wordgirl tests her perfect vocabulary. And this time she didn't make any mistakes. Also worth mentioning, in this spaceship is a sauna and a playground. I want to live here. Wordgirl is caught by Mr. Big and put in a prison made of Lexinite, making her incredibly weak. Meanwhile, there is a comically large mountain of stinky dishes at the Botsford house that Becky was supposed to do. Her dad is determined to leave them there so Becky can learn a lesson about responsibility. Hey, when's the last time you saw your daughter? Like you know anything about responsibility, Botsford? He has no idea where she is half the time and left them with an evil babysitter. But in the season 3 episode when Chuck's mom is away, he absolutely spirals about leaving her home alone because he worries about her. His feelings and actions are quite contradictory. I can't believe I didn't mention them in the original lore video. They're, dare I say, kind of interesting? In the episode of Vote for Becky, Mrs. Botsford, aka Becky's mom, campaigned to be re-elected District Attorney of Fair City. She won, but we never saw who her competition was. It's just nice to see that she cares about her job, and she worked for it. Sure, the city is full of nitwits, but they chose her. In the season 2 episode, The People vs. Miss Question, Sally Botsford briefly quits her job. Miss Question used her powers to make Sally Botsford question her abilities.
I quit. Goodbye.
While unemployed, Becky's mom missed investigating and interrogating so much that she made a big deal out of everything at their house. Who stole the last cookie? What is a just punishment?
Electric chair.
Immediately, her husband and son were sick of it and wished she had her job back. Which, by the end of the episode, obviously happens. Usually, TJ and Becky are on a united front against bedtime, so in the episode Havarti Highway, during a road trip when their parents started singing She'll Be Coming Round the Mountain, I thought they'd both be rolling their eyes, but no, we hear TJ's SpongeBob-like soprano, as Becky is left out and annoyed with no one listening to her. Her family has way more character than I remembered. Her dad, especially, is a very obsessive person, with strange rules for himself. In this episode, he says he always drives the speed limit divided by 5, which is very dangerous. In the season 2 episode, I Think I'm a Clone Now, I think TJ was trying to give Becky a compliment when he said,
"That pile of mud is much better than the one you drew last week."
While TJ is on Becky's side, he turns on Wordgirl this episode after he sees the evil clone Lady Redundant Woman made of her. This evil clone of Wordgirl is caught stealing, and it's being broadcast in a live news report. When Becky tries to stand up for herself, TJ is super aggro, shaking her by the shoulders for even suggesting the TV would lie. It's giving the same energy as,
"You really think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?"
PBS is so real for instilling a healthy bit of skepticism. That's why the liars hate you, Queen, but I don't. TJ tears up, thinking Wordgirl would portray him personally like this. At the end of the episode, Mr. Big's Doll and Dollars, TJ sneaks one of the Wordgirl dolls away from the return pile. These dolls were used to mind control people into buying more. Wordgirl used the same mind control in the dolls to get everyone to return them. And TJ didn't, meaning TJ's infatuation with Wordgirl is stronger than the mind control tech. But apparently that's still no match for his trust in the news, implying that that's a stronger piece of mind control tech. Very scary. Look at this dramatic shot of TJ losing his religion, throwing his Wordgirl action figure into the water, sending her downstream as he sobs. We don't even hear his usual shrill cries, because the scene is underscored by very dramatic music. Right after Wordgirl clears her good name, we see TJ reunite with his non-evil plastic copy of Wordgirl as relieved happy tears stream down his face. A mind control device doesn't work, and yet when TJ has a crush on this new kid, Chaz, in the season 6 episode All That Chaz, he turns on Wordgirl without hesitation to be this kid's friend. We have a culture clash as old as time itself. Caring a lot or not caring at all. This boy Chaz represents not trying, coming to school in PJs, doing things differently in spite of everyone else. Chaz hates Wordgirl because he thinks she's a tryhard. Even though TJ has a change of heart at the end, knowing that Wordgirl is good and Chaz is encouraging him to do bad, especially when Chaz teams up with Two Brains. But before that, TJ cleared out his room of all of his Wordgirl memorabilia just because Chaz told him to. If Chaz jumped off a cliff, would you? He would have at this point. The episode Chuck's Brother is all about siblings. TJ accidentally broke Becky's angel face figurine, and this is one of the few times Becky snapped, exclaiming she wished she didn't have TJ as a brother. She doesn't play about these ponies. TJ is upset throughout the episode, and even buys Becky a new figurine to make it up to her. It only took us until season 2, but the siblings really do value each other. This is the same episode where we learn about Captain Huggyface's brother from the planet Lexicon that he'll never see again. This is the first and only time we see Captain Huggyface's brother. I know I brought this up in the initial lore video, but this is so sad for no reason. Everyone has a brother. Chuck, Becky, even the narrator talks about his sportscaster brother. But all of this pales in comparison to Bob/Huggyface looking at that photo and crying. Why would they do that to me? Throughout the series, we've seen that Becky's favorite show is Pretty Princess and Magic Pony Power Hour, which TJ also starts getting into, even though he's embarrassed. In the season 3 episode That's Entertainment, the whole family immediately joins in watching the show with her. We even hear her dad's never-ending optimism, empathizing with the villains of the show and trying to keep morale up when the power goes out. I fear I've been too rough on this family. They're actually kind of adorable. The way they wrote TJ still pisses me off because TJ could have been a hero, and that would have been so much better. Here's a whole section dedicated to it. There's a hero, if you look inside your heart. In Season 2's Wishful Thinking, TJ was scammed out of all of his birthday money by game show host villain Seymour Orlando Smooth. He was so determined to get his money back, when Wordgirl was trapped, TJ distracted Seymour Orlando Smooth with the villain's one weakness, greed. Seriously, Seymour got caught and lost all the city's money just because this boy offered him the last dollar. The second time TJ helped Wordgirl was in Season 4's Whammer Anniversary, where he took down the villain with brain freeze, disguising himself with a mustache so his parents don't realize he left the house. This is better than Wordgirl and Becky's non-existent differences. In the Season 3 episode The Home Run King, TJ is infuriated by his sister's constant awards and praise. His father makes everything worse by being unable to say anything that TJ is the best at. What's especially fascinating about this is it's pretty easy to see that TJ is better at art and music, but to keep the plot going, they act like he's never been good at anything. And they're immediately proven wrong because this rage alone caused him to hit a home run so far. He knocked out the villain Amazing Rope Guy, leading to his arrest. A win can't just be a win for TJ, because in this fucked up, unfair city, this victory was framed as a Wordgirl failure.
Move over, Wordgirl, and make way for an extraordinary new superhero.
Becky is obviously pissed off because the one time she doesn't stop the bad guy, they are downplaying all she's done and what a hero truly is. Her dad even calls taking down villains an after-school activity. And since their dad believes TJ, as the home run king, has a new responsibility of taking down evil, he gives all his chores to Becky, the actual superhero in their family. TJ power tripping leads to an all-donut diet, which is hilarious, given the, stereotype about a certain profession. They could have chosen any dessert but stuck with donuts. PBS, you sly dog. TJ was obviously in over his head trying to take down Dr. Two Brains, who immediately trapped him. Wordgirl saved TJ at the end, but still encouraged him. It was sweet. I want more sibling moments. It's still not enough. One thing Becky is guilty of is underestimating humans' ability to become heroes. And given where she lives, why would she think highly of them? But this belief is challenged by her grandpa Bambi. Bambi's first appearance is in Bambi BattleBots. He claims that he could take down a giant robot with just his lucky screwdriver. And he does just that. Not only does he take down Toby's robot, but this was also a robot that Wordgirl was unable to defeat, because it was programmed to anticipate all her moves. So they really needed a plan that included something as random as an old man with a screwdriver. This screwdriver was given to TJ, someone who always believed in his grandpa way more than Becky ever did, because she was just getting defensive over Wordgirl. The screwdriver being given to TJ is especially nice because it teaches him he too can be a hero, something TJ is clearly very passionate about. At the end of the episode, Bambi reveals that he knows Becky is Wordgirl. Becky is positively flabbergasted, but no need to worry, her secret is safe with him because he's a really cool guy. In Season 4's Yarn for Gold, Bambi even fights crime alongside his granddaughter. It was really great to see, but unfortunately Bambi only has 3 appearances because for whatever reason they don't know what to do with a character after they learn about the not so well hidden at all secret. Back to TJ. In Season 4's Mouse Brain Takeover, TJ proves that he's smarter than anyone gives him credit for by winning the Wordgirl synonym contest. So now he's touring Wordgirl's secret hideout, much to his sister's dismay. Even though he won this prize, he couldn't fully enjoy it because Wordgirl made him cover his eyes the whole time. When she finally gave him permission to look around, he refused because his other senses were heightened so much so, he learned the layout of her hideout without even having to see it. Here's the thing, his reflexes, as well as the ability to navigate a brand new place without depending on his eyes, which he is used to having, is very impressive. No one else is able to adapt that quickly. I wish this episode specifically ended with him learning about Wordgirl's true identity, because at this point, couldn't he realize that Wordgirl and Becky have the same voice and talk to him in the same way? TJ, this series underestimates him as much as his own family does. In the episode Leslie Makes It Big, TJ is super good at puzzles, but everyone patronizes him, assuming Becky did all the work, even though she's worse at this particular thing. However, this was the episode's little lesson, and there was a nice resolution where they gave him credit and apologized. In the season 5 episode, The Good, the Bad, and the Chucky, they threw something very unexpected at us very nonchalantly. TJ does not play a major role in the main plot, but as he, Becky, and Violet are playing hide and seek, he is able to disappear into his surroundings. Some people say he painted himself like PETA in the Hunger Games, but look at how his outline also vanishes into the wall. At the end, we also see his Wordgirl action figure through his hand. You think he painted the cape and everything on his hand? Get real. You may be wondering, how did he get this ability if he's just a human? Well, throughout the series, we've seen many villains gain their ability later on in life. Miss Question was struck by lightning. Lady Redundant Woman fuses with a copy machine after pressing a mysterious button. We even see a regular birthday cake gain wish-granting abilities after the energy monster supercharges their oven. This happens so frequently, their world is aware of these magical side effects.
Warning, if electrified, cake may become enchanted.
So it's clear there's almost too many ways of gaining these abilities. My only gripe is what a waste and a throwaway this was. If he did gain any powers, we would never hear the end of it. So why is this just a one and done? Is it a see-through thing like we all expect? Or is he literally turning into the material of whatever's around him? Regardless, what are we looking at? Why did we never see this again? I know I've said this before, but I wish this was how he learned about his sister's powers. She doesn't think he's in a room and he overheard something he wasn't supposed to. And he should have joined the crime-fighting team with this new ability. I would be remiss not to mention that Liz Breen, associate producer of Wordgirl on Tumblr, claims that TJ and his best friend Johnson are canon. Which, listen, I'll take if it means he doesn't have a crush on his sister, but the whole reasoning of, oh no, it's definitely two-sided, it's just he's more mushy in private, I don't know, man. Is it just canon because you say it is? I really thought this video would be about how his character only does one thing. But actually, he had so much potential besides the weird crush. The title really should be The Little Brother That Should, because there's so many ways his character could have been a fan favorite. First of all, I said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times, Wordgirl's identity should have been revealed to him. And he should have remembered it so he could grow. Maybe we think he'll tell their parents, but then he doesn't, proving how much he trusts her and wants to help. Secondly, he should have joined the team. He should have used these new powers we've seen. And finally, I never thought I'd say this, but I don't think Tom Kenny should have voiced him. He already voices Dr. Two Brains, and he does a really good job with that character. But TJ should have been more nasally, more childish, less shrill. I think my voice claim would be someone like Wayne from Higglytown Heroes.
Someone special, who could it be?
We can get a hyperactive, know-it-all-ish kid in, dare I say, a less annoying way. And like I already said, no disrespect to Tom Kenny. He's perfect as Dr. Two Brains and the Ice King, and especially as SpongeBob. But TJ definitely should have been somebody else. Be sure to check out the links below to help out PBS during their uncertain future. Maybe we'll do a fundraising live stream one of these days. What would you want to see? Thank you so much for watching. I had so much fun revisiting the show. There's still so much more I have to talk about. I'm so glad we're re-exploring together. Please comment what else you'd like to see. And if you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe. I'm also doing a lot of fun bullshit on my second channel. Have a great day, butt lovers. Bye!